The story begins with a group of friends partying on the beach. We can see that it's nighttime, and the scene shows them having an amazing time. Everyone is enjoying themselves so much that they completely lose track of time, not realizing how late it has gotten. Then, suddenly, they stumble upon a massive object on the sand, and immediately they start mocking it, laughing and joking around, without even knowing what this thing really is. In the midst of their fun, they begin to break it apart. They completely ignore it. After enjoying themselves to the fullest, all the friends get exhausted and fall asleep. When morning comes, one by one, everyone starts waking up. Among them, we see a girl named Marcia. As soon as Marcia opens her eyes, she starts feeling unwell. She begins vomiting. Seeing her like this, everyone assumes it's probably because of last night's party. But deep inside, Marcia feels something very strange. At that moment, another girl notices a crow perched on the sand, and suddenly, the sand beneath her starts swallowing her. It feels as if there's a massive quicksand forming right there. The girl panics and warns her friend Marcia not to step on the sand, saying it's dangerous. But before Marcia can react, she has already placed her foot on the sand, and instantly her foot starts sinking in. She struggles desperately to pull it out, but fails. Using her hands to rescue her foot, she discovers her hand is also trapped in the sand. Panic sets in, and she starts screaming loudly. If her friends had come closer, they too could have gotten trapped. They are completely clueless about what to do. Seeing Marcia in this state, one of her friends sitting in the car rushes out. Everyone tries to stop him, but he refuses to listen. As soon as he steps onto the sand, he suddenly falls face first. Because he fell forward, his face sticks to the sand. He tries desperately to get up, but the sand clings even to his facial skin. His friends rush to start the car, hoping to pull him out, but the vehicle won't start. Then, another friend from the tower throws a rope toward him, but the guy is in no condition to grab it. Everyone watches in horror as his entire body is consumed by the sand. Seeing him like that, they all feel deeply saddened. Now, the remaining friends are terrified. They start planning, realizing that they must get out of there as fast as possible, or they too will die. Jonah, the friend in the driver's seat, tries again to start the car, but it still won't work. Then, they notice a healthy-looking man moving above the sand, sitting in a drum. Everyone shouts at him to stop moving, warning that if he falls, the sand will pull him in too. The man laughs, claiming they are joking. He hadn't witnessed what happened because he was asleep. When the man starts feeling pain, he moves again. One of the friends tells him that help will arrive within the next 2 hours because they've made a call. Hearing this, the big man agrees, though in reality, no one is coming. Everyone is trapped. Meanwhile, Marcia's friend recalls that they had partied on this very beach the previous night, yet the sand hadn't harmed them then. Where had everyone else gone? The group realizes that the others must have sunk into the sand as well, but they hadn't gone in yet because they were in their cars or on higher ground. After some time, the healthy man starts shouting again that the sun is burning him. His friend tosses him sunscreen and tells him to apply it for some relief. The man feels slightly better after applying it. Then everyone's attention turns to the massive object they had discovered the night before, the one they had damaged so badly. Because it had been dark, they hadn't realized how big it really was. And now they had made a huge mistake by breaking it apart. The object had split into pieces, and whatever was inside it had likely emerged. And maybe the creature that came out is the very thing that now lives in the sand, and it's the one dragging them in. We see Marcia's friend throw something onto the sand, but the sand swallows it instantly. It becomes clear. Whatever creature this is, it resides inside the sand. Watching all this unfold, Jonah realizes they can't just sit and do nothing. They need to take action. He grabs a skateboard and tries to use it to reach a nearby table. At first, he moves smoothly, carefully skating toward it. But as he nears the table, his board starts slipping. His feet lose grip, and he almost touches the sand. Suddenly, something emerges from the sand and brushes against his stomach. Despite this, Jonah remains calm and manages to reach the table. There, he finds a bag containing some snacks. He grabs a banana, but as he eats it, he begins to feel nauseous. When he looks at his stomach, it's covered in deep wounds. Everyone panics at the sight, but Jonah reassures them, saying, "I'm fine, I'm okay. You all focus on your safety." Trying to help, Jonah tosses drinks to everyone, but soon he feels severe pain in his stomach. Blood begins to flow from his wounds. His friends are horrified and start crying. Jonah comforts them, saying, "Don't cry, we are strong, right?" Saying this, he lies down to rest. Meanwhile, a girl sitting in the car points out that all their phones are stuck in the car's trunk. To call for help, they'll need to open it, but no one wants to take the risk. Standing on the sand, opening the trunk seems nearly impossible. One girl decides to try. She reaches for the trunk, but it won't open. Another girl gives her a piece of cloth to hold so she doesn't fall into the sand. Still, opening it proves difficult. Then, Jonah's friend hands her a rod, saying, "Try with this." Finally, she manages to open the trunk, but at that moment, someone appears in the distance. It's the beach supervisor. Everyone's attention immediately shifts to him. The girl who had opened the trunk suddenly gets her fingers trapped in it. The trunk slams shut again, and she screams in pain. Everyone tries to call the supervisor over, but he starts lecturing them. Today's generation, always on drugs, doing who knows what. They explain that they are in serious danger. He drives his car closer and steps out. Everyone warns him, shouting, "Please don't step on the sand." But when he steps onto it, nothing happens. The friends are stunned. He is completely safe. He first approaches Jonah, seeing the wounds on his stomach, astonished and questioning how this could have happened. Then, he tries to help the healthy man stuck in the drum, but the man is too heavy to lift alone. The supervisor says, "I'll call my team to rescue you all in a while, but I still don't understand what you people were doing here." Jonah's friend tries to explain that the girl's fingers are trapped in the car trunk. The supervisor approaches her, but still doesn't help. Seeing this, Jonah's friend starts screaming in frustration. The supervisor finally asks, "Why are you shouting at me so angrily? What's the problem?" She replies, "Can't you see how much trouble we're in? We can't step on the sand. 2 of our friends have already been swallowed by it." Hearing this, he scoffs. "I was just here to fool around. If that's the case, why would I even stand on the sand? You all get down immediately." But Jonah and his friend refuse to move. They know full well that stepping on the sand could cost them their lives. Seeing their hesitation, the supervisor draws his gun, and in the process, his keys fall. Everyone yells at him, "Don't touch the sand!" But he ignores them. As he reaches to pick up his keys, the sand grabs his hand. He tries using a paper spray on the sand, but it's useless. The creature has already taken half his hand. Blood pours out, and he screams in agony. Jonah's friend grabs the paper spray from a distance, hoping it might help somehow. But it's too late. The supervisor falls into the sand and is swallowed, dying almost instantly. Up in the cabin, Jonah's friend realizes why the supervisor had survived earlier. His shoes were reinforced, with towel-like fibers underneath protecting him. She tells her companions, "Throw me some towels. We can tie them to our feet and get out of here." As her friends toss the towels, she loses her balance and falls straight from the cabin. From the sand below, tentacle-like appendages emerge, probably extensions of the creature. They wrap around her entire body, feeding on her blood. Within moments, she suffers the same fate as the others, dying instantly. Her friends watch in horror. A black-haired girl clutches her ears and starts crying. Jonah's friend reassures her, "Everything will be okay." She instructs them to place a grill in position and carefully set another grill on it, creating a safe path. Then, she jumps from the cabin directly onto the car. As she lands, she scolds the black-haired girl. "This was your plan to come here." But no one could have predicted what had happened to them. Ignoring the moment, the 2 friends focus on rescuing the girl whose fingers are trapped in the car trunk, and they succeed. Jonah's friend wraps a towel around her severed hand for safety. Meanwhile, the man trapped in the drum is in extreme pain. His body is stuck, swelling, and blood flows freely. Tentacles emerge from the sand, sensing the human presence, possibly preparing to attack him. Back with the three girls, they connect the grill path from the car to a table. The black-haired girl starts moving toward Jonah. The girl with the severed finger tells Jonah's friend, "It's your turn. Move ahead. My hand is bleeding, and if it drips on the sand, the creature will attack us." Jonah's friend carefully follows her. The girl with the severed hand walks across the grill, but as she reaches the end, blood drops onto the sand. The creature emerges slightly, frightening her. She loses balance and falls into the sand, which drags her completely under. On the other side, the healthy man in the drum continues to bleed. The tentacles are drawn to him, climbing onto the drum. Meanwhile, the black-haired girl ties cloth around her feet and walks across the sand safely. She is elated. She reaches the supervisor's car. The healthy man sees this and feels relieved. But little does he know, the tentacles had emptied his drum from below. Suddenly, the tentacles grow massive, ensnaring his entire body and dragging him into the sand. He, too, dies. The creature, now enormous after consuming so many people, heads straight for the supervisor's car, shaking it violently. The girl who had fallen earlier hits her head and is knocked unconscious. Jonah's friend is now the only survivor. Everyone else is either dead or unconscious. Time passes, and night falls. Around midnight, the black-haired girl regains consciousness. She quickly takes control, trying to find a way to get Jonah and his friend out of danger. As they make their way toward the car, Jonah's friend catches up to them. Suddenly, a massive tentacle shoots out and slams the car door shut. Shockingly, the creature's tentacles are glowing, emitting an eerie blue light. But Jonah's friend refuses to give up. She climbs onto the car and notices a gas can sitting there. The creature grabs it and refuses to let go. Not wasting a second, she grabs a second gas can and spreads gasoline around the car, some of it even splashing onto the glowing tentacles. Then she sets it on fire. The creature's tentacles catch fire and writhe in pain. Seizing the moment, Jonah's friend jumps into the car and slams the door shut. The creature tries to open it, but the flames weaken it. Soon, it retreats back into the sand, its strength diminished. The three of them are terrified, shaken to their core by what just happened. Exhausted, they fall asleep inside the car. The next morning, a stranger knocks on the car window. He looks like a police officer. Jonah's friend steps out first, placing her feet on solid ground. The black-haired girl follows, and both are overjoyed. They are finally safe. They realize that the fire from the previous night had killed the creature. Tragically, Jonah didn't survive his injuries. But in the movie's final, shocking twist, we see that the creature is not dead. It survived. Somewhere in the ocean, it is roaming freely, now heading straight toward the main city.